Okay, we're back. The epoxy is hardened overnight, and we're ready to close up our new dome-loaded oxygen pressure regulator. Just to review, these are the 5 parts that we got rid of: slip ring gasket, regulator spring, washer for the regulator spring, the adjusting screw, and this was a cap nut that went over the adjusting screw. So this is all we've got left: the bonnet, the diaphragm, and the body with the valve components in it. So as I said earlier, we've glued up all the openings in this so it'll hold air pressure. We've got a air pressure fitting, 1/4 inch NPT, glued into this. Now we're going to put a little bit of grease on this surface in order to ensure that the diaphragm seals well on the control air pressure side. It's a dry seal on the oxygen side. There's a little ridge. You may be able to see the pattern there that helps that make a good seal. There's no ridge in this surface. So I'm going to use vacuum grease. This is a silicone grease. Pretty inert. However, speaking of inert, when you're working on oxygen, you have to always be conscious of the danger of things being able to react with the oxygen. You'll see oxygen gauges and so on always say use no oil, because oil will react with high pressure oxygen and catch on fire. You don't want that to happen. So when you're working with this, make sure you don't contaminate. Keep clean all the surfaces that are going to be exposed to oxygen. That means this side of the diaphragm you don't want any crap on. And that goes double. Actually, it goes like 100 times for anything on the high pressure tank side. We haven't exposed anything on the high pressure tank passageways. That's all underneath this valve, and I'm just fine with that, because that's where you'll really see a problem with reaction against oxygen. Okay, so we've got a thin layer of grease on there. I'm going to pop this in. Press the diaphragm down up against the metal surface of the bonnet. Has to be sort of wedged in there because there's an undercut in the threads, and that all makes sense. And now we just screw this together. You probably want to put a big wrench or hold this in a vise and give this a final tightening. And there you have it. Dome-loaded oxygen gas regulator.